going on, guys? So if you all watched my last video, my inverter crapped out on me after I got everything set up. You know, I had my big 2000 watt inverter up here and it wouldn't do anything. So what I did was I went and got me a Schumacher. It's a 410 watt continuous use, and I believe it's 820 watts peak. It is a modified sine wave, but the way I look at it is that great big inverter. This 2000 watt one, Cobra, that crapped out on me. This thing used so much energy just sitting there on, nothing using any power or anything, it just being on. So you had to constantly turn it off and on and off anytime you wanted to use it. So what I wanted to do was, I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money right now for a big inverter, first of all. So what I did was I got this little Schumacher, $30 at Walmart, and my thinking on it is, you know, I can use this to run smaller stuff like you know, charge my phone and my laptop, any kind of lights, you know, anything that's smaller, you know, I can run and do this stuff off this. And then when I get my bigger inverter, I plan on getting like a 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter. I can run the more sensitive stuff off that, you know, the TV or refrigerator or any of that stuff. So, you know, I don't have to have all of it on the one big inverter. I can, you know, turn it off and on if I need to. You know, a lot of people will run those little fridges or deep freezes during the day when the sunlight's going, because you get all your energy during the day, and then shut them off at night to conserve some energy. So that's my thinking behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to come up here and mount it over here somewhere, and then run. And I'm thinking about doing this a little differently. And by the way, any of you all that suicide cord, be very careful if you even think about doing it, okay? Because there's a reason it's called a suicide cord. Because what you're doing is, say this building has no power whatsoever from on the grid, not connected to anything, okay? When I do that from my inverter down to the outlet, that's running the electric through that plug-in and then through the circuit in the building, okay? So it's gonna energize this breaker box up here through that plug-in, okay? So you have to be really careful about doing that, because, you know, everything's live. Electric can shock and kill you, so you have to be careful. And if it's connected to on the grid and you do that, it can burn your inverter up or catch it on fire, or, you know, you just want to be really careful with it. So back to what I was gonna say I was thinking about doing was, up here on the wall, I was gonna just put the inverter and then run me a cord straight down and around all this shelving and then down to the plug and plug it in. What I was thinking about doing was, up here on the wall, putting me a receptacle with a box, mount me a receptacle box, okay, and a light switch, same thing on inside the blue box, a light switch inside of it, for the simple reason, if I want to shut the power off to, like, the lights, or, you know, to the shed or whatever I'm going to power, I can just flip the light switch off and it'll kill the power to everything else, but I don't have to unplug and plug back in or flip my inverter on and off. So say I had something else plugged in my inverter, like a laptop or phone or whatever, you know, I don't have to have more control of what I turn off and turn on, and don't have to disconnect and plug in everything. You know, I don't like doing that, plugging in and out, because it wears stuff out, it wears these plugs out. So I try to think of different ways to, you know, where I can just flip the switch And then another thing I didn't show you all in the last video is my solar water pump for my water collection system. I have to run in a line in here, and I don't know, I brought this stuff in the building, but I don't know about the pump, you know, because then I would have to bring the pump in, connect it, and then run water lines back outside. So it doesn't really make sense to me as far as that. You know, I mean, this winter, of course, this winter I'm not going to be able to do anything with the water because it's all outside, so I'll just have to drain it then anyways. But right now, I think what I'm going to do is set my pump out there on that back side of the building where the water catchment system is, and run my power cords in and toggle the hot wire in here on my board somewhere, and just where I can toggle it on and off. And it's a pressurized pump, so you know, once I get my system set up the way I want it, I can pretty much leave the switch on, and you know, it's just going to hold that pressure, you know. But it's nice to have it to where you can shut it on and off in case my water catchment system starts running a little low. And you know, just an update on that. What I'm planning on doing is showing you guys the right way of doing that instead of just rigging it up. You know, I'm gonna put me a gutter up there with a downspout and some kind of filter on that, maybe just with that screen that I had. And then eventually I'm gonna try to get an IBC tote back here and try to get it where it's not so visible where people can see it. The main thing we're trying to do, I don't want everybody knowing what I'm doing, because you know, this is more towards self-sustainability. But if anything did ever happen, I don't want everybody knowing that I have all this stuff, because you know, if somebody starts going without power, what are they going to do? They're going to come and steal your stuff. So you know, and I don't have that much, so I can't really afford to help anybody else, you know, with that stuff anyway for now. So we are going to hook this up. So we're going to open it up here and see what it looks like. And thank you, Sheila, thank you for offering, you know, to help me with this. That you'd be surprised, you know, everybody thinks this stuff is just cheap, but it costs a lot of money to make these videos and show you all simple stuff. So I didn't need the help this time, but I do appreciate it very much. Thank you. Alright, so we got some little cords with that. Let me open it up here and show you. Little cords for the back of it for a cigarette lighter, which we won't use that. And then just some basic cords with some clips for your batteries. It's a pretty small inverter apparently, because these wires aren't very thick. Alright. Well, if I can find my razor blade. Let's see if we can pull. Yeah, there we go. Well, here it is. It's got a little manual with it, and then the inverter. Look how small this thing is. It looks nice though. It's got got a plug-in on the front and a USB on the side and another plug-in on that side. It looks pretty cool. It's got fuses on the back, little fan. I mean, $30. Can't beat it. 410 watts. It won't run a whole lot, but it'll run more than what I was able to run with nothing. Alright, let's hook it up. Well, I think instead of putting it up there, because it has really short clips to them alligator clips, and I don't really feel like making new lines to go all the way up there, I think what I'm going to do is screw it here, because when I get my bigger inverter, my pure sine wave, I'm definitely going to want it up there anyway. So I think I'm going to, since it's so small, screw it right here, and then I can run my plugs and stuff off of it from there and run like we were talking, like, you know, the one plug in up, mount it on the wall, and go from there. So let's get some screws here, the drill, screw it in. Alright, get it up here where we want it. Yeah, I can break that. There we go, guys. We got it in. Oh, yeah, that worked. Man, that don't go in there. Charge our drill up off of it. Alright, now I'm gonna go unplug my building from the on-grid power, and we're gonna put our suicide plug over and then see if our lights and stuff is going to work off this little thing. Tidy this stuff up a little bit. Alright. Make sure everything's off. Everything's off. Right. Yep, everything. Lights on. The overload didn't go off, so got my battery charging from a drill. Got the light on. Let's see if it's a big light. Fan kicked on that, but that's a big, like 100-watt light bulb. It's a big one. So it can't run a whole lot, but you know, it's enough for what we need for right now. Keep us going. So judging off of what the solar's saying, I don't know if y'all can even see that. There we go. 30 watts. Now watch this. Ooh, if I can hold this still, I'm going to turn the inverter off. So everything went off. So the batteries are pretty much fully charged. So 5-6 watts coming in. Now let me turn, or 3 watts. Let me turn the inverter back on. It's got the light on and the battery charger. So it's using about 25 watts, 26 watts. So that's not too bad. Now let's flip the big switch on. Alright, ready? Oh yeah, that thing's sucking some power. So using about 75 watts for all 3 of them there. So let me show you guys. So we put it right here. Put my suicide plug down. I put that little USB thing, cigarette lighter thing there. Just to plug stuff in straight off the 12 volt. And then we got some power off the solar. Well, hope you guys liked it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment. You know, if you have any questions or any suggestions or anything, feel free to say something. Thanks.